and then we will continue with our next discussion. So I will recap things using calculator API only. Something is wrong with my system. That is slow today. So here in calculator, we have seen we have this HTTP listener, and the purpose of HTTP connector, we have this listener operation. Okay, this is the connector and this is the operation. So this listener operation we use to expose our API to external world. Okay, so in flow part where we have source, in source we use this HTTP listener. And when we use this HTTP listener, we define few properties here. Okay, first thing, connector configuration, where we provide host, port, and some other property, where host, port, and protocol, these three are important. So protocol means when you are doing data exchange on internet, which rule you are going to follow. Okay, there are two rules. One is HTTP, another one is HTTPS. Okay, so whenever you can correlate it from your real life example, when you send this email, or when you send your let's say you want to send some gift. Okay, so there are multiple ways to transfer the gift. Either you can go to post office, you can go for Blue Dart or something else. Okay, same way when we do data exchange on internet, okay, then we have two protocol. One is HTTP, another one is HTTPS, where HTTPS is more secured. Okay, so protocol is, you can say, set of rule that is used to data transfer on internet. Then we have host and port. So when you will deploy your application, so you need to provide some address to your application, correct? So this is host and port help us to provide the address, like you are providing your city and you are providing your country. Okay. After that, we have path. Okay. Within that city, which society you are living, or which society you want to send that parcel. Okay. It's something like that. Within, or you can say, like in host and port, you have given till society name. Now within that society, there will be multiple house. Okay, so which house you want to send, that is your path. You can say like this. Okay, so this path will help you to identify within this application, within this Mule application. Let's say you have multiple resources. So which resource you want to connect. Okay. A part of that, we have some more property that I will explain you later. Okay, so slowly we will go on deeper part. Allowed method. Okay, so this API will accept what method? Get, post, put. Okay, generally we are creating our API using YAML file, so you don't need to put it. Okay, but if you are defining standalone API without YAML, then you have, it's better to define it. Now coming to different component, once listener will receive that request, it will create mule node, and that node will transfer from one place to another place. Okay, within that node, what all things will be there? Can anyone tell me? Let's say Alakya, in mule node, what all components are there?
Um, Mule components.
When mule component like processing will start, one mule node will be created. That node contains multiple component. Can you tell me their name?
Node means event. Node means event. Mule event.
Yes, Mule event.
Yeah. Mule event contains the payload attributes, variables, if have any, and correlation ID, and the uh, things.
Okay, what all components are there within the attribute? Prachi, can you tell me? Within attribute.
Yes, sir. Within attribute, attributes dot query params dot name of that name of that query parameters. We can give name in that way. Like in mule component, there was a mule message, attribute, payload, and variable. In attribute, we give names like attributes dot query params dot name dot query of that parameters, name of that query parameters, and in payload or like vars dot name of that payload.
Okay. So Prachi, means you are trying, but you need to work a lot. Okay. So the way you are answering what I ask, and you answer related thing only, but in very complex way. Okay. So Manish,
Like
can
sir,
you tell me?
like sir,
Now,
in
now,
attributes.
now I'm asking Manish. Manish, can you tell me
Yeah,
what all
header
the
attributes and URI parameters.
header? Second, what you?
Attributes,
I'm asking within attributes. So
yeah,
how?
query parameters and URI parameters.
Yes. So within attribute, we have three things: query parameter, URI parameter, and header. Okay. Prachi, are you clear now? Prachi.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that was very straightforward question, and what you started, you were trying to say, but you have to be handy with all these things. Okay. I was not asking the syntax. I was asking the component name. Okay.
Yes, sir. Now I got. Sorry. Sir.
Okay. So Titiksha, what will be syntax to read the value of header?
Hello? Hello?
Yes, yes.
Can
So
you please repeat your question?
what will be syntax to read the value of headers?
Headers.
Navita, can you tell me?
Attributes dot header, sir.
Then dot headers.
Yeah, like
Yes, attributes dot
attributes dot
headers and
headers
that
dot
header
header
name.
name.
So Tatiksha, like you are working in MuleSoft, so at least basic things you need to. If you know, well and good. If you don't know, then if we have covered, you should know.
Yeah.
Okay, so you need to spend more time then. If you are not
Yes,
aware of this syntax, then you need to work a lot. Otherwise, you will not get any benefit. So Chandan, what will be syntax to read the value of URI parameter?
Attribute dot query param.
I'm asking about URI parameter.
Attribute dot URL parameter.
Attribute. Okay, this is not correct. So who else are there? Ramni joined or not? Sai, what will be correct syntax to read the value of URI parameter?
Attributes dot URI params dot name.
Yes. So syntax will be attribute dot URI params, not parameter. URI params dot their name, URI parameter name. Okay, so all these things are very basic thing. You people, like we have already covered, but still you people are not handy. Okay, so I can say this is not good way of doing things. Otherwise, if you people are not understanding anything, you can ask me again and again. I'm okay with that. But what all basic things are there, you need to be handy. Otherwise, soon we are going to like start the complex part. Then you will be out of context. If you are not understanding this basic concept and all, And if people are not giving time, then like after maybe 15 days, you people will be completely out of context. You people will not able to understand anything. Okay. So here, like we are trying to get the value of query parameter. So for query parameter also syntax will be query params. Okay. You need to be ready with this spelling also, where P will be capital. Same for query URI param also. Okay. So you people need to be handy with all these things. Okay. Now, can anyone tell me, like here I'm using 3 set variable. Is there any better way to use, or this is the best way?
No, we have
Yes, we
another
can
way.
use.
Inside one transform message, we can create multiple variables. Instead of it will reduce the usage of three transformers.
Okay. So here we created first variable, that is f number, and what is the value? Payload dot f number. So either you can put it here or you can put it here. Both will give you same meaning. Okay. Slowly you people will get idea why it will give same. So instead of creating 3 variable, what I am doing now, I will create simple single transform message. So if you people will do in this way, like creating multiple variable and payload, so sometime it will happen your flow will be too complex. Okay. Like you will have lots of component in your flow, then it be a user friendly flow. Okay. So to avoid those kind of things, I will suggest to use one transform message. Okay. And if you want to delete anything, let's say payload is not useful. Okay, so I can delete this payload. Okay, actually by mistakenly I put it here, but ideally, so we can delete also. So payload is not required. I need only 3 variable. So far I created 2 variable, first name, second name. Let me save it. Okay. And what is, so now we can delete this also. Okay, so we have first number, second number, and operation. So now you can see, like, you people are feeling like this reduce the complexity of our flow. Previously we have 3 component, and like at this moment we are going with very small business logic and all. But when you will go for actual project, you need to use lots of component and processing. We need to use lots of things. So if in that case, if you will start using set payload and set variable every time, then your flow will be very complex. Very big flow will be there. Okay. So it's recommended, like you can use the transform message whenever you want to define multiple variable and payload at the same place. Okay. One more thing is there that I will let you know later. So whatever we are writing here in this transform message, if we want, we can externalize it. Okay. That process we will discuss later. Okay. Now After transform message and set payload and set variable, we discuss about the choice router. So Prachi, can you tell me what is choice component, what it do?
Yes, sir. In choice router, it's validate the expression. If condition, like if first condition is satisfied, then it can print that message. Else, it can print the default message.
Okay.
Like
Yeah,
it's
this time.
validation of expression.
Yeah, this time it's good. Okay, but let me try to explain in more better way. So choice router, whenever someone will ask what is choice router, so choice router help us to execute the flow, okay, based on the condition. Okay, so we can define one or multiple branch based on the condition. If we have one condition, then we will have one branch and another default branch. Okay, and you cannot delete the default branch. Always there will be one default branch and one branch. But if you have multiple condition, then you can define multiple branches. Okay, so in choice router, it will do the processing based on the condition, and it will start searching from top to bottom. It will start checking the condition from top to bottom, and for which branch it will match the condition, it will do processing of that branch only. Okay, so this is like you can like be more descriptive in choice router. Okay, so what we were doing here in choice router, we were checking if it is add, then we are doing the addition. Okay, if it is subtract, then we are doing the subtract, minus. Okay, like that we were performing operation inside the calculator. So in last class we covered till this point. I did a small recap. Everyone clear with this?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now we will explore more components here. So again, like I want to define first REST API only. So first thing, like to expose our API, what component we will use? We will use listener. Okay, and in listener, I will go and define the configuration, connector configuration, host port, host protocol, and port. For other application, I am using 8081. If by mistake I will run both the application, that will create some kind of conflict. Okay, to avoid that conflict, what I will do, I will use port 8082. Okay, click on OK. In path, I will use paste. So it will receive the request by using localhost like 0.0.0.0 colon 8081/test. Okay. Once it will receive the request, what I want to do, I want to put one logger component. Okay. So what logger component do? Anyone have any idea?
It will logs the
Sir,
whatever the detail we configured in the logger in the console.
console print.
Yes.
Okay. So logger component will capture the log. Okay. At this moment, yeah, definitely it will capture in console. But when you will go and deploy your application, okay, at that time, either if you are using Cloud Hub, like in MuleSoft, we have different deployment model. So Cloud Hub is one option is there. If you are using Cloud Hub, then you will able to see this logger in your
Logs in the
logs. Okay, Cloud Hub log. And if you are integrating with some other third-party logging framework like Splunk, Elasticsearch, and all, then you will able to see that log on that logger server. Okay. And what is the purpose of logger? Can anyone try to can anyone give me any real-time use case where we have similar kind of thing, logger kind of things are there?
Before connecting to the external system, we can use this logger.
Connecting with external system?
System, yeah, like
No,
Salesforce.
I'm asking real-time use case. Any real-time example? Just to understand this component better. Okay.
In
I
the
hope.
yeah,
Okay.
little. In
Yeah,
the
you.
ATM machine, if we put the wrong PIN or wrong password, it will print that password is incorrect.
Okay, that is system response. That is not log. Okay. So
Okay.
now let me give you. I hope like everyone, we have seen the hospital and all. Okay. So whenever you will go for hospital, you will see there are many devices are there. Okay. Whenever there will be any patient and all, they keep many devices to monitor your heartbeat, to monitor your pulse, and like many things. Correct? So what is the purpose of that devices? Is that devices doing any kind of treatment? No, that is not doing any treatment. That is just helping a doctor to know the health of that particular patient. Okay, how his like body part is working. Okay, that is not doing any kind of treatment. It's just supporting the treatment. If something will like will not work normally, then you will able to see there, okay, that this part is not working properly. Correct? That is the purpose of that different health devices. I don't know the name of those devices, but you people might have seen. Like whenever
Yes, sir.
someone will admit in hospital, so they will connect multiple devices in their body to track the status of that particular person or patient. Okay, same thing logger component do. It it do not help in any business logic. Okay, whatever, like for which purpose we are developing the API, it doesn't play any role for that purpose. Okay, we are developing API to meet some business requirement, correct? But logger component do not contribute in like for anything in that business logic, but still we put the logger component. And what is the purpose of that? Once your API will be ready, okay, once you will deploy it on server, then there should be something which will help us to understand the health of that API, correct? So by log, what we do, if there will be any error, then we are checking the log and we come to know, okay, there is something wrong with that API, either request data or some component is not used properly, correct? So logger component do not contribute in functionality of the API, but it helps us to monitor the API. Everyone clear with this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now coming to log level, okay, you can see here we have different kind of log. Okay, info log, like whenever we go for higher environment production and all, then we should capture either info or error log. So info log is like it's a very high level. It will tell you like what is the current status of that API. Your API is started, your API is ended, or something is processing, some particular flow is processed. You are like we are calling the external system. So if you want to capture those kind of log, then we use cat log level as a info log. Okay. Second log is error log. Let's say you are capturing log whenever there will be error in your API. So we are using different component on error continue propagate, correct? Within that component, if you are using the logger, then it's better to use the log level as a error. So these two log generally we use when we go for higher environment. But apart of that, MuleSoft support few more log, that is debug log, trace log, and warning log. Okay. So debug log generally we use whenever you are in development phase. Okay. And when you are doing development for, like, you can say debugging purpose, like you have written this logic and this logic is working fine or not, what payload we are getting from that backend system. So if you want to capture those kind of information, then we use log level as a debug.
Yes.
Okay.
Detailed
Then
troubleshooting, we can say.
yes, yeah. In short, you can see while troubleshooting your API, debug log, like log level, we should use as a debug. Okay. Then we have trace log. Okay. So trace log we use when we want to get the complete detail, like for each component, it will give you detailed analysis, like what happened with that component, what all things are executed. Then we use trace log. Okay. So generally, like whenever we have any production issue or anything, at that time, we used to enable the trace log. Okay. Ideal case, we should not capture the debug log or trace log, since that log size will be too big. Okay. And log server has some capability. It's not like you can put as much data you want. So they have lots of uh, limitation. Okay. So we should not capture debug log and trace log kind of thing in our like higher environment. Okay. And last one we have, that is warning log. So whenever you want to get like put some warning. Okay. So warning is, again, two kind of things are there. One is you are working as expected. Second thing is ideally you should work like this, but you are working like this. And third thing is you should not work like this. Okay. So first one is happy path, second one is warning, and third one is error scenario. So warning is something you should work like this, but you are working like this. So it's acceptable, but you should work like this. Okay. In that case, if you have such kind of things, like ideally we should work like this, but you are working like this. If you want to capture something like that, then we should use log level as a warning. Okay. So these are the log level generally we use when we capture the log. Okay. And why we define this log level? For that, we have something in log4j. Okay. At this moment, even if you are not getting, it's fine. But let me show you. So at least you people will get idea what is the purpose of this, why we are defining this. This is just a name. Okay. This is just like for our understanding purpose, we are defining the label. But if you see here in log4j file, where we are giving all the instruction to capture the log, there we can define the log level also. If we will define the log level as a info, no matter what kind of logger you have used. Okay, let's say you have used log level debug, you have used log level trace, other log will not be captured in log server. Okay, if you want to capture those things also, then you need to define those log level also here. Okay, but you can see here log level is only info. Okay, when you will deploy your application, so it will capture only info log. It will not capture the debug log. It will not capture the warning log. It will not capture the trace log. Okay. So that's why whenever we are defining the log, you should keep the log level also. So if by mistake you will deploy your code with trace log, with the help of this log4j file, log server will come to know we should not capture the trace log. We should capture only info log. Okay. So for that, there are some syntax in log4j file. At this moment, maybe it might be advanced for you. If you are getting well and good, if not, just skip this part. But hope everyone understood the log level. Is there anyone who has doubt on this log level part?
No, Ravi.
Okay. Now You can see second part is their message. Okay. So in message, when this logger component will execute, what message you want to display. So that message you need to write it here. Okay. So let's say I want to keep two logger, one logger whenever process will start. Whenever process will end, I want to keep this. Okay. So this two info log will help me to understand when our process started and when our process completed. Okay. And let's say we haven't learned error handling, but to understand log, I'm using at this moment, forgot about how I am using this error handling component, focus on the concept of logger. So what this API will do, whenever it will receive the request, it will log. What it will log? It will log the start, and then whatever payload I will pass, it will add high in front of that payload. Okay, and then what it will do? It will capture the end log. Okay, so this is the behavior of this API. If there will be any error, in that case, it will capture error in the log.
Sir, also change level of
Okay.
logger. Yeah. This one also, and inside on error continue logger.
This is informed. Okay, so everything is done. Now I will debug this application. So let me use for everyone. Put in chat like what, like I want to call this API where my payload will be developer guide. Okay, like I want to pass one string value that will contain developer guide, and I want to call this API. So everyone send me what should be URL and what should be payload. To call this API, if you people want, I can open the listener. So this is the path and this is the host and port. Okay. to call this API, what should be URL and what should be payload. Everyone put in chat. So it looks Ravita good, but body part no one shared. Okay, it's okay. Then Sai also fine. Yeah. Okay, so you people are getting this parts. It's good. Okay. So now I will go to Postman. Before that, I will add one breakpoint. Okay. And why we use this breakpoint? Let's say if you want to run in debug mode and you want to stop or not stop, you want to pause your flow at particular component, then we use this breakpoint. Okay, we already added, so it's coming remove breakpoint, otherwise it will come breakpoint. So now I will go to Postman and here I need to pass 8082 and then test, and inside body I will pass the string. Okay, so pass the request. Okay, so here you see at this moment we have some system log, you can say, when we started this application. I will clean all this. So here you can see this clear console option is there. So click on this, it will clear all the log from here. Now till this point we are here. That means this component already executed successfully. It received the request and it moved the control here. Okay. If you go here till this point, there is no variable. We have payload. Payload contains developer guide. We have attribute. Okay. So all these things are there. Now, when I will click on this next processor, this logger got executed, this got executed. And then if you do word wrap option, okay, here it's not coming. So I will do word wrap. So here you can see this is the log it captured. In this logger component, we kept this particular log. Okay. So once this component completed successfully, executed successfully, it captured this particular log. Okay. Now when we will do set payload, till this point you can see what is the payload. Payload is developer guide. Okay. But when we will execute this component, now you can see payload got changed with high developer guide. Since we added high in this payload. Okay. Now here you can see till this point we have only this logger. Now our control is here. So once I will next process. I will go to next processor. This completed the execution. We don't have any component, so it will reply here and listener will respond back. Okay, and you can see this end log is here. We are getting end log here. And you can see here, this is the log level info. Okay, so this is the case of info log where I want to capture the whenever my like API will be called. So I want to capture start whenever my API will end. I want to capture end log. So this is giving it's helping us to track the API. Okay, how many time API got called? So let's say you have 10 start. That means 10 times someone called your API. If you have 10 end means 10 times your API completed successfully. But there might be case something will go wrong. Okay, in between, let's say we are doing some. Let me put some error scenario. If you divide any number by 0, okay, it will give you error. Okay, so we are creating one error scenario. So what will happen? Control will go to this error handling. And here I will change the log level as a error. Just give me 1 minute, sorry. Yeah, I'm back. So this will be log level as a error. So if you will do any minor change and your application is already in debug mode, then automatically it will deploy your application. You don't need to redeploy your application. You will get something like this. I will call this API again. So this logger started. Okay, let me clean. So first logger will complete. It captured the start log. Okay. Then it went to set payload. It failed here since we are trying to divide any number by 0. That will be infinity. So DataWeb don't support the infinity value. Okay. So what will happen now? This will throw the error which will be catched by the error handling component. We will discuss in detail error handling component. At this moment, focus on the logger component. So now control will go to this error handling. That means this logger. Okay. So this is the, you can say this is the log from your system. So you don't need to worry about this. And now next. So you can see here, this time log level is error and this is the log. Okay, so in this way, this logger component works, and the objective of using logger component to understand to track your API. Okay, like how your API is working, how many times your API got failed. Okay, how many requests you have received. So all those kind of things we use logger component to understand. Okay, and many times like when you will move on higher environment, where you cannot debug your application with the help of log only, you need to identify what is the problem with your API. Why that particular transaction didn't work. So all those kind of things you need to track with the help of logger component. Okay, so everyone is good with this logger component?
Yeah.
Ravi?
Yes.
Yes.
Are you asking anything?
No. I'm good.
Okay. Okay, it's already 6:30. I think then we are good for today. So tomorrow, let me focus on all these 4 component, or let me think. This might not be good time. Okay, let's start with this component only. So tomorrow we'll discuss about choice router. All these 4 component we will discuss. Fine, then let's connect again tomorrow, and then we'll continue our session. And Pallavi, are you taking database session in morning?
No, sir. Today I am not taking.
Okay, so I start from tomorrow. So tomorrow 10:30, you are good, Pallavi?
Yes, sir.
Anyone else has any concern at 10:30? Tomorrow 10:30, Pallavi will take database part. So as I mentioned, like if I will take database, then 1 month we will be working on database only. So let Pallavi work on the database part, and I will teach you about all the MuleSoft core component and everything. Okay, so if no concern on 10:30, then yeah, everyone please join at 10:30. For 1 hour, Pallavi will explain the database function and all. Okay, fine then. Thanks everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ravi. Thank you, Ravi.
Thank you, Ravi.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ravi.